like your
Just
old buddies.
chatting.
Here we
Oh,
are.
there we are. So I think that we're yeah, I think we are live.
Okay.
Let's I'm gonna turn on the comments, and as soon as people start to sorry, you know what? So JT and I were just talking about how when we're like I put my camera closer to my face because I noticed that whenever I did a live with somebody else, everybody else's head was like normal size, and then mine I looked like that little the shrunken head in Beetlejuice. So now though,
You-
now my head is ginormous. And I
That's
wish
my
it was
word.
a little bit smaller because I put you behind me. Your really
I can't.
cool graphic.
Oh, yes, I know. I saw that when I was coming in. So where are we live? Are we on your page, my page, and Geisinger's gang? What's the
So
deal?
we're on my page. We're on my YouTube and my page. And I
Okay.
tried to connect to your Geissinger gang, but it wouldn't let me do it. And
Okay.
so we weren't able to do it. But maybe when you when the broadcast is done, I'll you should be able to like link to it in your page. So
Yeah. You just give me the URL and I'll link it and all that. So
all right, I will do it. JT Geisinger, it is so good to be hanging out with you. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me.
oh, thank you. You're my favorite. So we had to hang out
Well,
together. Congratulations on your month of 400. That's ridiculously amazing. I'm very proud of
thank
you.
you. I appreciate that. You know what? I had a video that I was gonna play right before, but I got flustered because we're like hanging out and talking and
You're so adorable. How are you so cute? I can't wait to show them all the rest of my gang who want
well,
me to tell you, by the way, that you have a lot of big fans in there. And they have some really raunchy questions that I won't ask because we're live, but maybe afterwards I can
I
I
think it
can
would be great. Yeah, maybe yeah, I would love it if you asked me. Those are the
I have
best.
a bunch of questions, so we'll go through the ones
Okay.
that we can say live on the air.
Okay. Yeah, the safe for general viewing. Let's pop up the comments and see what everybody's saying. Karen Hoffman says happy Sunday. Hello, Karen. How are you?
Aaron?
There's Cindy Perry Pugh. Hello, Cindy. Sarah Evans Miller says hi.
Very
Hey,
cute.
let me tell you something. When I posted that you were going to be in here, you got a lot of fangirling. I mean, everybody everybody loves you for good reason too. I mean, I think that you are very well. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and admit that
Yes. Spit
I
it
have
out.
the tiniest crush on you, but you. So here's the thing. I mean,
All over right now. Okay, go.
you're funny and you're really smart and you're an amazing writer.
Thank
I
you.
I love reading all of the these stories. I would read them even if I wasn't reading them professionally because
Really?
they're fun. What are you drinking?
This is bourbon. It's called Jefferson's Ocean.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know if I've had that.
it's very
Wow.
good. Yeah, I'm a
It
bourbon
looks
girl.
pretty good. Yeah. So I'm drinking something my daughter bought me for my birthday. This is Sagamore Spirit. Oh,
Okay.
Sagamore Spirit Rye.
Oh, it's rye. You like rye. All right.
I do. Yeah. I don't know. I never thought I would like rye because I mean I'm not a huge fan of like rye sandwiches or anything like that. But
I like it in a Manhattan, but straight, I just like bourbon. And this is a
yeah.
very, yeah, it's a very kind of a mellow, sort of buttery, oaky type of thing going on.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, so I like that.
Yeah.
So, when was your birthday?
It's actually Tuesday.
Oh, happy
So
birthday. Okay.
thank you very much. I
Does
appreciate it. Yeah. So
that make you a Leo or what are you?
I'm definitely Leo. Yeah.
You're very
I mean,
Leo. Yeah.
I don't like really believe in the zodiac thing, but
Yeah,
I
but I like
like when I see people talking about what a Leo is, I'm like, yeah, that's totally me. I
and I'm originally from California, so we can ask people those crazy questions.
yeah, really, what's your sign? What are you on the cusp of?
Uh,
Or
I'm I'm an Aquarius.
an Aquarius, really? My mom was an Aquarius,
Really?
so good company. Yeah,
Did you
Aquarius.
like each other?
Oh, yeah, I love
Okay, okay, good.
yeah.
Okay, good.
She was good. Well, she had the same yeah, and so she had the same vibe as you, like, very sophisticated, very cool, great sense of humor. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm having a hot flash. Just stop. Okay. Like, you're too cute. Okay,
I
so
I've got, yeah, I have, definite, questions for you about these books and how they came about because, they are, you know, they're really cool, and I know that you say that, that all your male characters are based on your husband.
well, they're not though. Here's the I mean, so I'm actually wanting to interview you, but yeah, but just for this,
Mhm.
they're all my books are dedicated to him, except for two, which one was when my dad died and one was when my mom died. So I dedicated each one of those books to them. But all the rest of them are dedicated to him because he's just the coolest person I've ever met, and he's kind of my rock, you know. So I yeah. So and it was love at first sight
Yeah,
when yeah yeah
that's pretty
100%.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, you know, it's really kinda it's the same with my wife and I. We were, I mean, I was pretty I don't think that she wasn't as infatuated with me as I was with her, but,
That's good.
I yeah, but she was, like, so very cool, and she's also, you know, she really is the total package. I mean, she's funny, and she's smart, and she's got this wicked dry sense of humor, and so
You have to have a sense of humor in life because there's just too much, you know, hard stuff to deal with. So if you can't
mhm.
laugh about it, you're gonna have problems. But
Yeah, yeah, really, you do have to you just have to laugh about, yeah, you know, but, yeah, everything is so you if you don't laugh, you cry.
yeah,
So
yeah, we don't want you to
so
cry. Okay,
Cookie
wait.
is
Okay, so before we go through all this, I have one question that I really want to ask you,
okay.
and that is, how does it feel knowing that thousands of women have pleasured themselves listening to your voice? Because
I
I get these comments and I know that this is what's happening. So how does that feel for you?
oh, man, I don't know. I mean, if I think if I thought about it too much, I feel like I need to, like, cool my face down a little bit.
I
Yeah,
know
if I
me.
thought about it too much, that'd be too much pressure. I,
Well, it's a real thing. I mean,
wow. Well,
yeah,
I,
good on you.
I don't know. You know, and you know, the funny thing is, like, I don't really think about, you know, I don't walk around saying, "Hey, I've got a sexy voice," or anything like that. And then when I read the stories, I just kinda read them as if, you know, as if I'm the person.
Okay.
So,
So you get it, you
but
sort of get into the role.
yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
ever
I think that's it. If I actually thought about that, like, "Okay, I'm gonna make this really hot," I think it would be like do you remember the scene from, what was the scene from it was, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh,
Uh,
True Lies?
yeah, True
In the
Lies.
bedroom
Remember
when
when
she's trying to be all sexy on the
yeah, she was stripping for him,
yes.
and,
And
that
he's got the
that
little recorder and he's like playing back, you know, "Dance for Me" or
mhm,
whatever. Yes, I remember that very well.
yeah, that would be me. Like, if I was actually, like, trying, then, you know, that would be me being, you know, trying to be sexy, so
Do you ever, like, in the middle of one of these spicy scenes, do you ever have to take a break because it's just too hot, or you're not really
mhm.
thinking of it like that way?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's like, okay, so one time, a long time ago when I first got into, doing audiobooks,
Uh-huh.
I did this, it was like it was a paranormal romance, and, um, I was like there was a sex scene in there, and I read it as I don't know, it was like I don't know, I guess like, you know, the way that I would you know, I was feeling it when I was reading it,
Mhm.
and I read a review of the book, and, the woman said something like, "The male narrator, uh, when he was doing the sex scene was so monotone," and she said
How
something
dare she?
it was like, "Ew," and I realized, okay, so there's a difference between acting out a scene and, like, reading I mean, I guess I must have been just, like, reading it like, you know,
Flat,
oh,
like, "Oh,
yeah.
baby, baby," yeah.
Yeah, I was just, like, really flat, and in my head, I was thinking, "Okay, I'm being intense, I'm being, you know, mysterious and, you know, this tension in here." But no, it came across as kind of like creepy, the guy sitting in the corner with a raincoat on, so
Well, I can tell you that nobody who listens to your words, who has well, when you're voice acting one of my books, I get these emails from these women, and it's like they want me to divulge your home address or something because they just want to stalk you. They're just like, I've never heard anyone's voice that's so as sexy. So, do you use that voice at home with your wife, like, or is she just?
uh,
Because I'd be saying to my husband, honey, do the voice. You
you know
know,
what? So, the funny thing is she says, she tells me, like, she says, "You read differently than you speak normally." And, I mean,
do you
I
think
don't notice it.
you should like step it up a little bit? You know, like
I guess I
like
must.
give me a little love.
Yeah, yeah, so, yeah, sometimes when when I'm serious and she's like and she doesn't realize it, then I have to be like, "Hey, baby, it's time." And
Get out the dictionary, honey, because I want you to read that right, like right now. Let's do it.
but,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, so, I, yeah, I don't know, I mean, I guess, like, when I'm reading books, I have to kind of enunciate and at the same time try to sound conversational, so
Was it
now
hard at the beginning, or is it much easier now that you have experience doing all that? I mean, was it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, in the beginning, when I first started reading audiobooks, I felt like I needed to be I felt like I had to sound like someone or sound like something in particular, and then I realized, "Oh, this is just you have to be, you being this person," and so once I started to relax and just kinda, like, fall into the character, um, it it got so much easier.
Mm.
Like, so
And less self-conscious, I would guess. Because for me, like,
mhm,
hearing my written words spoken out loud, it makes me very self-conscious. Because in my head, it sounds a certain way, and
mhm,
in real life, I don't walk around talking about, all those things, but it
mhm,
goes with the scene, it goes with the story, and a lot of times when I'm, doing the quality control on one of the audiobooks that you've done for me, I'll have to like press pause, get up, get a glass of water because it's like, oh my god, it's so intense. So yeah, I don't know. For me, at least, it's different listening to it than it is
hmm.
reading it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you really do a great job of writing for the way that people speak because, I like the most enjoyment I get out of your books is when there's dialogue between the characters,
Characters, yeah. I
and,
try to make them sound like the way people talk, and
mhm,
people have, instead of saying "it is," people say "it's," things like
mhm,
that. It's a little bit
yeah.
more casual and colloquial, but, again, I didn't start out that way. I started out writing paranormal romance, in
Yeah,
third
I was gonna ask
person.
you about that. I saw like, I was doing, I was, like, trying to write notes and make sure I kept the characters straight in the books that we did together,
Mhm.
and you did a book called The Last Vampire, it looked pretty sexy.
I have this thing about unhappy endings. I'm someone who loves, like, I like it at the end when all is lost and, it's just I love that. So it's
Mhm.
weird for me to be a romance writer, but The Last Vampire, it's like depressing French cinema. It's like there's not a happy ending.
Oh,
It's a beautiful
okay.
story, but there's no happy ending, and it's the least read book of mine because people
Hmm.
don't like not to have a happy ending. They really want a happy ending. So I
Oh.
had to learn sort of how to, incorporate all those happy endings into my books.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll bring him back. So he's dead, but maybe I'll bring him back so people won't be so bitter
Yeah,
about it.
maybe he can redeem you.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
You
know.
know what? So here's the deal, um, what was up with all of those unhappy ending movies from the '60s into the mid-'70s?
Art
Like,
house cinema. Yeah,
is that what it is?
yeah.
It was like so oh, again, so my wife and I, we start dating and it's like, everything is new and everything is, fun and
Mhm.
fresh. And so we like decided we're going to do all these new and fresh things. And so we decided, hey, let's see movies that we've never seen before. And so we decided to watch Breakfast at Tiffany's
Yeah.
and Roman Holiday
Mhm.
And there was one other one that I can't remember. But at the end of each of those movies, it it was like they all ended with like a
Kinda
hmm.
sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a really weird, like unsatisfying, like where's the damn ending of this movie?
Yes.
And
So
it
that's, I think, a deliberate choice a lot of times when people are trying to make art, you know? They want
Mhm.
it to mean something, and especially when you're going for, like, the Academy Awards or what have you, um, the sadder it is, like Schindler's List or something, you know, the worse it is, the more people feel that it has an elevated artistic statement to
Oh
make,
yeah. Mhm.
which is why sometimes that romance, I think, gets a bad rap because romance, it isn't just about, you know, a couple falling in love or whatever. You know, there's all kinds of stuff going on in there, but it has a happy ending. So if
Yeah.
you know, if it didn't have a happy ending, then people would call it literature, which I've
Huh.
done a couple times. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
nobody likes it.
It's I don't know. I mean, yeah, I feel like that's that's one of the wonderful things about, like romance and things that have that have a satisfying ending. But
Mhm.
that said, that's a great segue into Perfect Strangers.
Mm.
That book just like floored me. I'm reading it. I'm reading along, and I guess I have to admit to you now.
Yes,
Um,
do,
you
please.
you probably have some narrators who they do a lot of research into the backstories of their characters, and they go through their script and they highlight words and they research things and so forth and so on. I don't. And
Mhm.
I have to admit that I don't. I really just kind of like pick it up, and it's like I'm reading it along with the person who's reading it for the first time. So I mean, there's many times when
Discovering it as you're reading it.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll be reading through this, and so with Perfect Strangers, at at a certain point in the time of the book, I'm like reading this, I'm like, "What the fuck?
WTF.
What is what's going on here?" And,
Yeah.
that book, I mean, it really floored me. I mean, it really was like,
It's a little cuckoo. Yeah, it has, so that was actually published in 2019, and it has gotten this huge second life on TikTok
mm,
because book talkers, find out about it, and they make these amazing videos, their reaction videos to it and everything. So,
mhm.
you know, it went back into the Amazon top 100 bestsellers, and I was just like, "What is going on here?" But, yeah, I'm kind of bummed that you were not available for Pen Pal, which is my next project, because
Oh, yeah.
Perfect Strangers on steroids. So, yeah.
You know what? And that's the thing. As a matter of fact, I got a message from, somebody saying, "Hey, are you gonna do or are you gonna do Pen Pals?"
Yeah.
And, or Pen Pal, and I said, I don't think I am." Like, one of the problems on the one hand, it's a good problem. On the other
You're
hand, it's
popular
like
now. Yeah, you're
yeah,
booked.
it's not a yeah, so, like, I'm booked through February, and, there's a lot of authors who are like, "No, it has to happen, in time with with the release of my books."
Can I just book you? Can I just like book you for like 4 dates next year so that you're just, it's like, I don't even have the book written yet, but I want you. And I can just say, okay, Troy, we're going to book out this month or however. Well, how long does it take you? Like a week or two to do a book?
It depends. I mean, I guess if it's, like, if it's a 7-hour book if my part is, like, 7 hours, then it'll take me about a week to, you know
About a week. Okay, so it takes you
yeah.
about a week. All right. So yeah. So I'm just gonna send you a calendar and say I need you here, here, and here for next year.
Mhm.
And you're like, okay, just JT Geisinger, undetermined project, and then you'll be on it. Yeah,
You
because
got it.
when I told everybody that you were not going to be doing Pen Pal, there was like this uproar. Like, well, we're not going to listen to it. Ah, shit.
Well, you guys, let me tell you something. You don't know what that is. I mean, that's kind of like, if you're like if you're an actor and you're sitting in a room with Steven Spielberg and he says, "Hey, I'll tell you, I'm doing this new movie. We'll go ahead and I want you to be a part of it."
Yeah.
So thank you. I would love
Well,
that.
yeah.
I would love
Okay.
it.
So
But yeah.
we're gonna do that. Yeah. I'm just gonna email you directly from now on. We're just like, I'm booking you.
Oh, thank you. No,
Okay.
yeah, Pen Pal, I read the
Synopsis?
excerpt from Pen Pal, and it's, like, really, really interesting.
Oh.
Yes, well, so that's maybe that's another thing is, like, so I can share this because obviously it was on the, like the Amazon
The product
detail.
description. Yeah.
Yeah, the product description. So a woman begins to get letters
Mhm.
from somebody from a
Mhm.
prison
Mhm.
the day that she buries her husband.
Mhm. Yep.
And
And she
he
doesn't know him. This
yeah, she
person's
doesn't know
right.
him, and he says something like, "I will wait forever for
Mhm.
you." And
Mhm.
she says, "Well, you got the wrong girl, and
Mhm.
I've never met you before." And he says, "Oh, yes, you have."
It's such a good book. And
I
it's weird
know.
to say that about something that I wrote, but it's like it's one of my favorite projects that I've ever written.
Mhm.
Um, and it's very twisty and it's very kinky. The first half of the book is like I don't even know how to describe it, but I call it
You
an
would have
erotic
to if somebody's in prison, you gotta use your imagination.
thriller. Yeah, yeah, you do. Ever known anybody
Mhm.
in prison? Yeah,
I,
anyway,
I used to get,
that's a random aside, but yes, anyway.
I used to work with so, like, I used to work at a rock station in, Albuquerque, New Mexico,
Okay. I've
and,
been to Albuquerque, yes. Beautiful blue skies.
oh, yeah.
Mhm,
It's funny, like, you don't recognize that until you move away. Like,
mhm.
all I wanted to do was when I was a kid was just get the hell away from New Mexico, but
Yeah,
then, when I moved out here and then I went back, it's like you forget how big the sky is
it's huge, yeah.
in New
It's
Mexico.
yeah.
But anyway, so I worked at this rock station in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and a really big penitentiary is in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Mhm.
And so I worked the night shift.
Oh,
And so
wow.
yeah,
There's a book right there.
it was really common for me to get a phone call where it would say something, the operator would say, you have a collect phone call from the Santa Fe Penitentiary prison from, and
Hotline.
then yeah, and then the person would talk, and they were supposed to say their name, but he would always, the guy would go, "Play Def Leppard," and then
Ah!
and then they would say, "Do you accept the charges?" And I would say, "No," but then I
Yeah,
would play Def
and
Leppard.
then you pour some sugar on me on the yeah, turntable, yeah.
Yeah, it was always or if it was 2 for Tuesday, then they would say, "Play Def Leppard, pour some sugar on me, and you pick the other one." And so I'd play, like, Hysteria
Oh,
and,
yeah.
pour
Isn't
some
that
sugar
funny?
on me.
All the things you've done in your past life kind of add up to all the things that you're doing now.
Mhm.
That's very cool. So you started in radio.
I did, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I spent about 25 years in radio, and I worked, like, in all the different, things you could do. I was, like, the morning guy, the night guy, the overnight
Very,
guy.
very cool.
Yeah,
That's
it
really
was
cool. Did you
yeah,
go to college for broadcasting, or did you kinda just fall into it?
I just fell into it. Well,
Yeah.
so I knew when I was a little kid, I remember the moment that I decided I wanted to be in radio.
Mhm,
Uh, my brother was telling my mom about this friend of his who was working at a radio station,
mhm.
and I'm sure that it was just like a promotions person, like a helper for promotions. But when he said that, just like in my head, I was 8 years old, I said, "That's what I'm gonna do." And I just always wanted to do that, and so I, I set up a little pillow fort with my mom's speakers on either side of my head, and I'd, like, put pillows you know well, you're not old enough, but in the '70s, they
Oh, I'm
had the
probably older than you, Troy.
you are not,
Yeah.
definitely not. I'm gonna be so
We'll do
Tuesday
that offline,
okay, alright. But
but
anyway,
maybe
so I had this,
I just have good sun care, skincare. Okay, go on.
yeah, yeah. So I had the speakers on either side of my head, and I would play my Kiss records,
Oh,
and
Kiss,
I would
what? Yeah, Beth. Okay, go ahead.
oh, yeah. Yeah, I was the biggest Kiss nerd ever. Like, everybody is, like, totally into Kiss now, but I was
I
the one
remember Ace Frehley. I remember when they took off their makeup and it was like anyway,
crazy, right? Yeah,
yeah.
I bought all of their individual album. I bought their comic book. I don't know if you
Really?
yeah, I bought the comic book, and it was, like, such a big deal. The hype around that, whoever their hype man was, like, the bomb.
It was probably Gene Simmons. I mean, that guy, like, he's pretty good with PR, but
I
I
know
don't know.
his name. His name was, Bill Aucoin,
Okay.
and
Random
so
trivia.
he was like the George Martin of Kiss. But, they did a, publicity thing where each one they had a vial of their own blood that they poured into the ink of the comic book, and I was like,
Wow.
I gotta have that comic book. So
This is like way before Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob did the vial of blood thing, right? Way before.
yeah,
This was like, yeah, in the 70s. Yeah.
yeah,
My brother was really, really into Kiss. I was into Van Halen. I was a David Lee Roth.
really? Okay.
Oh my God. David
Uh,
Lee Roth made me fail 7th grade math because I could not stop obsessing about it.
really?
Yeah.
He
And I
was
had a terrible math teacher, and I
yeah.
just would zone out, and I would just like dream about David Lee Roth. Like, oh,
Wow.
I don't know.
Nobody really appreciates David Lee Roth, but I mean, back in the day, I mean, this
His
guy,
voice.
yeah, he was the guy. I wanted to be David Lee Roth, and like with
I just
his
want to put a
tongue,
huge blonde wig on you right now and see how that would go.
it wouldn't work well for me. I remember one time, like, so when I was in rock radio, I I moved to Santa Barbara to work
Mhm.
at a radio station, and my boss was you lived in the LA area, didn't you?
I born and raised in Los Angeles, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, KNAC, right? That's
Yes.
the hard rock station. Well, my boss used to work at KNAC. His
Okay,
name his I think his air name was Raven or something like that.
okay.
Anyway, this guy, when I met him, he flew me out from Albuquerque, New Mexico to go interview with them. And this guy gets off the, no, I got off the bus. There's like a bus that goes from LA to Santa Barbara. So I get
Mhm.
off the shuttle, and there's this guy waiting for me. And the guy was like every rock star like in the world. He had like Ray-Bans and like long hair. And his
Leather,
hair was like remember Bono
yeah.
in the pre
Sort of mullety.
yeah, yeah, it was all like one length, and it went back, straight
Yep.
back. It was
Mhm.
so cool. That was Doug. That was his haircut.
Doug. I'll be your Doug. Okay.
I know Doug. And so immediately this guy became my hero. And so I decided I grew my hair out. My hair went from a mullet to Bono.
Just
But
big. Okay.
yeah, it wasn't as good. Like even when I was a kid, my features were like not as manly. And so I looked kind of like a girl. So I
No.
I I attracted I attracted like the girls who liked tortured poets. I think that was the
Yeah.
kind of girl I kinda
Well,
attracted.
every girl has the tortured poet phase, and
Mhm.
then they have like their horses phase where they love horses, and I don't know. We all have our weird little.
You go through your thing.
Yeah, but you turned out pretty good though.
I appreciate that.
Out at the end, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
wait.
glad
I have a question. I have questions for you that my
okay,
readers would like me to ask. So I'm
alright,
just going to interrupt our little love fest here because I need to
alright.
ask you questions. Okay. Okay. So we talked about how. No, we didn't talk about how you got your start narrating. So you
Mm.
were in radio, and
Mhm.
then someone said you have a muy sexito voiceolo. That's my Spanish.
Yes,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, that's how it was, and it
Really?
was like yeah, it was at, the Shop and Save, and the guy who was bagging my groceries was like, "Señor, you've got your voice is muy sexyoso, muy guapo."
Muy.
And,
And
pero
did you guys date for a long time, or it
it was just like a one night thing.
was
I
a
I
long story? Okay. Okay.
I realized he was just saying it to,
To get you in bed.
get
Yeah.
into my goodies and,
Yeah, he wanted your cookies. Okay.
so,
It worked.
he never called me, but
That rogue. Okay.
I know. So what were you what were we talking about?
Dear God, I don't even know how you got your start narrating audiobooks.
Oh,
You don't even remember. Okay, so you were drunk during that whole period, I guess. I don't
oh,
know.
I remember what it was. Okay, so I actually there was this so my ex-wife worked in radio as well.
Mhm.
And she had a prison story too. She used to get letters she worked at the rock station in Phoenix, but she she got a letter from the Maricopa County penitentiary,
Mhm.
penitentiary, penitentiary. This is
The
really
pen.
gonna
Let's call it the
yeah,
pen.
pen, yeah.
Pen.
And so the letter started, it said, "First of all, I mean you no harm," and then went on to write her like a 3-page letter about how much he really, enjoyed her voice. But, Anyway,
Well, it was very gentlemanly that he, at the beginning, he was like,
yeah, yeah, it was
I'm not gonna
just to let
kill
you
you,
know.
but I'm just obsessed with you,
Yeah,
and I might stalk you when I get out. Okay.
yeah, and then no guarantees to what might happen to your husband. But, anyway, so, I don't know how she met this person, but she was uh, a writer,
Mhm.
and I I do remember her name. I don't know if this name is familiar to you. Her name is Suzanne Brockman.
Oh my god,
And
Suzanne Brockman is a legend in the romance industry. Yes,
yeah, so
she is.
so they get to know each other, and, we actually, we went and spent some time with her,
Hmm,
um, and she was like the coolest host. She lives in the Boston area, and
mhm.
so we flew out and we went and spent some time with her, and she showed us, uh we went through the Salem, like a
Area,
Salem
yeah.
village, and we
Boston is
saw
very, very cool.
yeah, the site of the shot heard round the world,
Yeah.
and it was she was just a very cool person. So, we said, "You know what? We would like to narrate one of your books." And she
Mhm,
said, "Oh, that sounds great." And, so we did a basically like a dual narration kind of a thing, and, sent it to her, and she said, "This is great. I would love it. Let me, send this past my publisher."
make
Well,
people
at
happy.
that point in time, it was like, probably like, 2000 or so,
Mhm.
and, she said, "Yeah, they said no. They've got their own narrators, and they do their thing," and at that point in time, there was no such thing as ACX or
Right,
Audible or
right.
any of that. So,
KDP, that was all before. Yeah.
yeah, if you wanted to narrate books, you better live in Los Angeles or Chicago or New York or
New
San
York.
Francisco.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So, but narrating that book was just, like, so much fun for me because I just loved it. I thought
You
it was, like,
did. Yeah.
the cool thing, it kinda got in my blood, and so when ACX first came out, I realized, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this," and
Mhm.
I auditioned for every royalty share book that I could, and,
Is
and
that
so
how you work now? Is it mostly pay per hour or is it royalty share?
mostly now it's pay per hour. Like,
Yeah.
usually when you do royalty share, it's like a direct thing with the authors, but if you have a book that sells well, like, I did this
I
really
feel
cool
like you should be doing royalty share with me because I make so much money off of you, my friend.
yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
yeah, I haven't even bothered to ask. I figured, yeah.
Yeah. So because you're so good, the Queens and Monsters series, sorry, let me just interrupt you and then we'll go back. The Queens and Monsters series has been a huge breakout audio thing for me.
Mhm,
And now it's making up like maybe 10% of my income, which
mhm,
before it was, just a little bit. And my publisher before always had the control over who was going to be voicing these things and all that and
mhm,
it was always great, but being able to, sorry, I'm one of these people that has to play with my hair to think, being able to pick my own narrators
mhm,
and do this stuff because now I'm doing indie projects, which is bloody fantastic. It's been so good, and and having
mhm.
you on the Queens and Monsters here, I swear to God, I don't even know. I can't even tell you how gratifying it is to have somebody who says these words that I wrote that sometimes don't even seem like they came from me, and then I hear it and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Sweet baby Jesus, like what was that?" But I don't
No,
even know what I'm talking about. I've had a lot of
yeah, you know what? This is yeah, I really enjoy drinking whiskey while we're chatting because it
yeah.
it
Anyway,
makes
I was just trying to compliment you. Okay, hold on. Let me
oh, thank you.
hold on, hold on.
Alright.
Swing it around. Hold on. Okay, wait. Okay, so technical stuff about what you do, your craft.
Okay.
When you're doing duet narration, I'm assuming you're not all together in one booth. It's you doing your part and the
Mhm.
other actor doing their part.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does that actually work? The audio producer sends you the script and highlights your part?
Mhm. Yeah, so they'll send me they send me the script, and, the really cool thing is, so we do these through Audio Sorceress,
Yes, which I love.
which
They're
is Marna Young, who's, like, really,
yeah.
really she's a she's a great actress,
And very talented, yeah. I mean, in her
yeah,
own
she's so
absolutely.
yeah, so she's another one of those people who's you really kind of got it all, she's a very she's she's talented, like a right brain person, very creative,
Mhm.
and left brain, she's also a hell of an
Businesswoman.
entrepreneur.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
she's
Mhm,
she's a great manager, so
mhm.
the cool thing working with her on your books is that she'll spend time with me. We'll set up meetings, and we'll have meetings between all of the principals in the book,
Okay.
Michelle and Brooke and Marnie, and we go through and we'll read some scenes together and say, "Oh, okay, so how does this, how do we sound together?" It gives us an idea of like when I'm, you know,
Tone, whatever, yeah.
yeah, like I have a feeling for who I'm talking to when I'm reading my part. So, but yeah, so the cool thing is that Marnie's assistant was
Denise.
Denise
Mhm.
was so cool that I reached out to her on my own after we started doing these books together, and I said, "Hey, Denise, do you know where I could find somebody who could help me like you help Marnie?" And she said, "Well, yeah, I can help you."
Yeah, that
And
would be
so
me.
yeah,
Yeah.
so Denise works for me and with me, and
That's
she
awesome.
does the script. So like every time I go to when I look at the script, she's got it all highlighted and formatted perfectly so
Okay.
that I know my parts and I know all of the other people's parts.
So do you
And
turn down, scripts also, or
yeah, sometimes I do. Like, sometimes it's just, my speaking style doesn't really jibe with the writing style of the authors. So
so it's not that it's too spicy or dark or whatever, you just don't really feel like that's a good match for you?
yeah, there was one book that was so weird that I was like,
I
I
okay, email me the title because I wanna read that. I love weird shit.
oh, really? This
Yeah,
this one was really, really
and you're
weird.
just like,
Yeah,
couldn't
I'm
do it.
trying to remember, like, the premise of the book was this guy he moves to a small town
Mhm.
and finds that he's the only person who's not in this small town cult where all the I don't think they're like real witches and warlocks, but they have
They're
this
into
cult
it.
going where basically they make him a sex slave. And
Mm.
he has to be a sex slave with like all of them, and many of them are 80, 90 years old,
Oh,
and
perfect.
I'm like, "I don't think I'm gonna be able to make this sexy." So,
You're just like, "That's a no. That's a
yeah,
no."
yeah, so I mean, uh, tempting, thank you, but
Is it
but
though? Like,
no, it
don't
was
send me
not.
don't send me the title. I don't
Yeah,
wanna read that. Oh my god.
but yeah, I mean, it
Well,
was it was pretty strange. So yeah, I mean, those are the like, there's, oh, so and sometimes, like, I got a book coming from somebody who, they asked me to do, uh to play the serial killer, but the
mm,
serial killer was a woman,
mhm.
and, or no, the
I was gonna
hero.
say
Yeah, the
what?
hero was a woman, and that was the first person perspective.
But you're like my voice, I'm a man, obviously, so how
Yeah,
does
like, I mean, I could do the narrator part, I can do the serial killer part, I could do all of the other parts, and I don't mind, like, I can do women's voices, like, as part of a dialogue or something like that, but if I'm gonna do you can't have me do a first
you
person.
just gave me an amazing idea.
Really? I wanna
Yeah,
hear this.
you just gave me an
'Cause you've
amazing
got some pretty amazing ideas. I mean, the
yeah.
book that you
So
read
a
are
lot of
pretty.
people ask me, so how do you that's what like the number one main question that I get is where do you get your inspiration? And
Mhm.
it's just like this. It's just being open and someone will say something, I'll see something on TV, I'll hear a lyric or what have you, and I'll go, "Oh, shit." And then so yeah, you just gave me an idea for something that you may end up narrating in the future. We'll see. I don't know.
Oh, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. I
And
just,
in the back of the book, I'll just have like a little footnote, like refer to
mhm.
this YouTube interview where, yeah, you guys can.
Yeah, that would be so cool. I gotta tell you this, if I could do something well, I mean, I'd like to learn how to play guitar. I'd like to learn how to speak Italian. There's a lot of things that I'd like to do that I will. It's like I noodle around on the guitar, and
Mhm.
I'll mess around with this or that. But one of the things, if you were to ask me, what would you love to be really good at?
Mhm.
If you could be good at something else, uh,
Mhm.
writing. I mean, I really admire your talent as a writer, the way that you have to come up with the idea, you come up with a premise, but and that's always a good start, right?
Mhm.
But then all you need is 90 to 150,000 words, and then you've got a book. But I mean, you're
Yeah.
able to do that, and you come up with these ideas and you execute them, and that's really impressive to me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so the only reason I think I'm a writer is because both my parents were book people, and,
Mm,
my mother would do the New York Times crossword, every Sunday in pen.
mm,
And my dad, they were there was always books around the house. There was newspapers, so I grew up in this house full of people who revered the written word. So it was kind of just sort of
mm,
a default thing for me.
mhm.
And I don't know. It's just the thing that I love to do. So to me, it's not a job. To me, it's just I love telling stories and I love getting it all out there. And yeah, it's I don't know. You can get all esoteric about the stuff that you do, but really you're just telling stories, which is what
Mm.
people do, right? We tell stories to each other. We tell stories about our lives and our past and all of this stuff. But I love it, and I feel like you could be really good at it because you have well, you're talented in a lot of different areas. So you're kind of like talented musically. You have an ear for things. So I think maybe you could do that.
Hmm.
You
Well,
could,
thank
you could become a writer. Yeah, I mean,
that would be really
and
cool.
then maybe I'll narrate your books.
I would love
Wouldn't
that.
that be like interesting?
I would love that. That would be so cool because I think you could. I feel like you have like you've got the ability to do that.
Well, I took some acting classes in college, and then I discovered that there's a lot of super creepy people because I grew up in LA, right? So there's a lot of
Oh my
very
god, yeah.
creepy people in the acting industry, and I was like,
Mhm.
that's a no.
To make it in that kinda yeah, to make it in that business, you have to really dodge a lot of landmines, yeah, it's yeah,
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein, debacle, I think is just it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, especially as a woman,
Yeah.
but that's just kind of how things go for girls as
Mhm,
you're growing up. Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's one of the things about romance that women find eh, kind of like attractive as an escape into is because we have a kind of a different interior landscape than men do. I think we
mhm,
do. And so romance sort of fills that niche, right?
mhm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I've
I noticed that
emails from women who are like, "You've saved my sex life, like you've saved my marriage," like because you start these conversations, which are healthy to have,
Mhm.
then and then you drink bourbon.
Now I'm going to give you 2 observations. Number 1 is from a friend who made an observation about, one of the books that you did. I think
I'm scared.
it might have been Declan's story.
Oh yeah.
She said, "Let me tell you, this JT Geissinger, this was really authentic."
I'm
She
scared. I'm
Yeah,
okay. Tell me
she
what.
she goes, she called it the life. She said
Mm.
she really knows what she's talking about. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't in the life. And,
It's funny that you say that. Okay, so my brother lives in San Francisco,
mhm,
and he is a very he's a brilliant human being, and he owns a software company, and he's very creative, what have you. But he is in the life, as we
mhm.
call it. He's a guy that's been involved in Burning Man since the inception, and
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, and he thinks that I am the super straight laced, like conservative one in the
Mhm.
family, which compared to him, I am. So no,
Yeah.
I'm not in life, but I have a really good imagination. Yeah, and so
Very
people,
convincing.
does your husband read
Mhm.
your books? It's like, oh
Yeah,
yeah. He
yeah,
has no idea what's going on in here. Like, and I don't want him to know. It's all
yeah.
just made up. But yeah, no, it's not.
You know, it's funny, like,
It's just made up.
I'm never self-conscious about the stuff that I do, but if my wife read my stuff, I'd be a little self-conscious.
So she doesn't listen to any of these things. She has
Mm-mm.
no idea.
Now she listened to one book that I did, and this was early on when we first started dating 'cause, um, we met on Match,
You
and,
did? That's
totally did,
adorable. Oh,
and, she,
oh.
so I liked her because I liked her profile name. She listed her profile name as Manamana, and so
Ba-da-da-na-na-na. Okay.
yeah, so immediately I was like, "Deet, deet, deet, deet," and we were
Right?
like, "Oh, okay, we have to meet." Yeah, so, I
Funny
didn't
those
really.
little things that yeah.
Yeah, it's the little things, yeah, and so, I didn't really like, I didn't talk about what I did for a living, but then then I told her, and so then she started stalking me, and, she,
Everyone does. I mean, yeah.
yeah, so she found a book that I did for Julie Huss,
Uh-huh.
uh, called
Oh
Four.
god. Okay, I love her, by the way. I don't know her
Yeah,
personally, a little side, but yes, she's one of the authors. When I first started reading her, I'm like, "Damn, girl, you went there." So, yes.
yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, so she's just another one of those, uh, authors who just has this ability to
she's real.
just yeah, the way that she weaves a story is just amazing. So,
Yeah.
anyway, so Ford was my first
Oh, okay.
really big book, and, so that's the one that Sheila read and listened to, and,
And was
at
like,
the
"Never call me again."
I know, but at the end of the book, um at the end of the book, she, uh I said, "So, what did you think about it?" She said, "Yeah, I finished it." I said, "What do you think about it?" And she said, "You pronounced gondola incorrectly." And I was like, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, you said gondola."
Gondola.
And I'm like, "Ah, fuck, really?"
Like, it's
And
over.
yep, I was
I'm
like, "I
out.
I
Gondola.
I have to leave you now." But,
Actually, I have to say something because you pronounced oh, shit, Provence wrong in one of my novels,
oh my
in Perfect
god.
Strangers. You're like, "Oh, and then the lavender fields of
Another one?
Provence," and I'm like, "Dude, Provence?
Oh,
No,
man.
Provence."
What did they flag it for me?
I
Did I
I don't
get to
know, but at the end,
redo it?
I was like, yeah,
Oh,
they
shit.
yeah,
So there's, like, so at that moment in time, if that got left in there, everybody who reads that far, they get to that point and they're like, "Oh,
out.
yeah, this guy's a poser. He's a wanker.
He's a
He doesn't
wanker.
know what he's talking about."
What a good word.
Well, let me tell you something. So
Wanker.
I was in my 50s before I found out that it's not pronounced thesaurus, it's pronounced thesaurus. I didn't know. I was like, what the hell? But
Tell me more words that you don't know how to pronounce.
shit, I don't know. I don't
Thesaurus?
know. I
Thesaurus?
I mean,
Wait,
I'm sure that, now my hair's all fucked up, but,
sorry, you're so cute.
I'm
I just
sure.
Thesaurus. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna pronounce it like that from now on until the end of time. It's a
Yes,
thesaurus.
would you? 'Cause
Wait, I
if you do, we can make it a thing, and
we
then
could, right? We can make it a thing, yeah. I think
in
we're
a
gonna
generation people will say thesaurus, and they won't say thesaurus, which sounds weird because a thesaurus sounds more like a dinosaur.
it does. It's like a stegosaurus or whatever, and then a
Yeah.
thesaurus.
So we're gonna start saying thesaurus from now on. That's I'm gonna write that down, and when I send you the recap
I'm
from
off in
this
my own
meeting.
little world. And God,
Yeah,
you're funny. This is why I like you. You're
well,
funny.
thank you, I appreciate
Okay. Okay, random question. How
it.
do
Okay.
you avoid vocal fatigue?
Um,
Inquiring minds wanna
you
know.
know what? I don't know. Sometimes I do get vocally fatigued, but I don't think it has. Well, it does. Like, so I work on books from about, so I do a radio show, on a radio
Still?
station in
Okay.
Sonoma County,
Oh,
but it's a recorded show, so I only record my breaks,
okay. Mhm.
and, but I get to talk over the music and stuff, and, so I use that as my warm up. So about 6:30 in the morning, I'll do that radio show,
Daily?
and mhm, yeah,
Okay.
Monday through Saturday, or Monday through Friday, and then on Sunday as well.
What's the call sign for the station?
KJZY. So you could stream it. It's if you go yeah, if you go to kjzy.com,
Mhm.
there's a listen live thing in there. And if we could get like as many people as possible
That'd be
to
fun.
listen to it, because the owner of the radio station always bitches about how much it costs him to stream that show
Oh, we're
to
gonna do
people.
it. Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
do
so I think if everybody does that, it would be really
Alright.
it'd be really funny because he as far as he's concerned, this audiobook thing is just it's just something frivolous next to employing me as his morning DJ. But
So you're still in radio. I love it.
what was I saying?
I don't know. Does that happen to you too? It's like you go
Oh
on and
man,
on and you're like, okay, squirrel, shiny object. Like,
it's
where am
terrible.
I?
Yeah, I have an issue,
Yeah.
but I think the whiskey helps. I mean, that is something.
Whiskey
Oh,
helps.
it's vocal fatigue. Yeah. So so I do my show, and that
Yes.
takes me about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I'm warmed up. So like all of the, any frogs in the throat or anything like that, and
And then you
throat
start
clearing is
your
out of the way. So that's
sexy
when I
book
start doing.
baby.
Yeah. So then I read until about 9:30, and
Mhm.
that's when my stomach starts growling.
Mhm.
And
Do you
you don't
have
know how
coffee first?
I
Or
drink
no?
tons of coffee. I
Okay.
drink so much coffee. I'm
Okay.
like, I start the morning with coffee, and then I
Okay.
just
So
keep
coffee
going.
and then the vocal warm up, and then you need something to eat.
Yeah, I have to eat something, and that's when it gets really tricky because, like, okay, at 9:30, my stomach starts gurgling because I'm hungry, and so I'm like,
Sorry, gurgle is a great word. Okay, go.
gurgling, yeah.
Gurgle.
So, it's really frustrating because you're sitting here trying, and especially, like, if you're in an intimate scene or something emotional or something
I
like that, and
gargle.
you're like yeah, you're like, I lifted her legs above my shoulders and growl, and it's and
You're like, "No, redo."
I have to
Real
stop
life
doing and
though.
then yeah, so finally and my wife, she works part-time from home and part-time, uh, at work, and so, like, if she's home, then I'll say, "Hey, I can't work. Are you hungry?" And so she'll say, "Yeah," and then we'll go up and we'll either eat eggs or, and I'm really good I make a really good omelet, by the way. Um,
I've seen that on TikTok.
you see my TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got people, criticizing my knife holding skills, but I've got all my digits, so I'm okay.
Yeah, you're doing good. You're
Yeah.
doing good.
So, yeah, we eat, and then I have, like, a 30-minute window to read some more, but then my stomach starts digesting, and
And
so
then you
that's
get
when I
sleepy.
say,
Then you need a nap.
then I
You
need
do.
a nap.
Yes, you do.
But, then I usually go take a shower
Oh, okay. Alright, alright.
and right about then is when, like, my voice starts getting a little hoarse.
Mm.
So, then I kind of, I'll either keep reading or I'll do something else, and then, like, later on in the afternoon, about, like, 5 or 6, then, I'll read some more.
Do you read books mostly, or do you listen to audiobooks? Like, or do you not do any
I
of
have
that?
I have to read. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can't listen to when I listen to audio well, it happens when I read too, because, like, I'll read something and then I'll, like something will trigger a thought, and then I'll have to, like, look a word up or
Mhm.
'cause I read a lot of boring stuff like, biographies
I
and
love
history.
biographies. I love that too.
Do
I don't
you?
read any romance. Yeah, I don't read romance at all. Yeah. So if you look on my BookBub page, it's like
Mhm.
all the books that I read and I like. I like sports biographies for some random reason. Like, I'm
Really?
obsessed with
Oh,
Tom Brady, and, like, I read his book and Tiger Woods' book, and
wow.
there's, Thomas Jefferson biography. Like, I
Mhm,
love all that random stuff.
mhm.
Yeah, I can't read romance at all.
Yeah,
unless
I
someone's
feel like I feel like I get my fix with, you know, the stuff that I do professionally.
yeah.
And then, yeah, so it's like, you know, I read a lot of I've got a psychology. So I have different books in different rooms of the house. Like in the on the main floor bathroom, I've got uh, a psychology book. And then
In the bathroom. Well, you got some time.
you have to, yeah, but you know what? The thing is, like, TikTok is the devil. And
Oh, I
I've
don't go on there. No, I don't go
It's
on
a good
TikTok.
idea, yeah, because the thing is, like, you know, you go to the bathroom and you have a choice. I mean, you only have, what, 5, 10 minutes?
However
Yeah,
long you're in there,
however
small
long
amount,
it takes. But
hopefully.
it's a finite amount of time before your
Yeah,
legs fall asleep. And so,
which is
so
never
I
good.
which is yeah, if you're like if your toes are tingly when you're done, you need to
It's time to go.
you need to get that moving. You need to do
Yeah.
whatever it takes, you know, eat more
You need
bran.
to eat more fiber if you're
Yeah,
in there for 10 minutes.
eat more raisin bran.
You're
So,
making me tired. Yeah, okay.
so
We're
anyway, I've got my psychology book down there, and
yeah,
then I in the upstairs bathroom, I have a and that's a different thing, like, you know, before you take a shower.
such a dude thing. Okay,
This is too much information, I know. But,
I love it.
um,
I wanna
so
meet your wife someday so we can just sit down and have all these conversations about, okay, so Troy is on the toilet,
you know what?
upstairs or downstairs? Like,
She just, you know, she's very, very sweet, and she's very accommodating. Uh, she's
patient.
very accommodating of my quirks, you know, because like
That's what makes a happy marriage, though. I mean, we all have quirks, right? So
yeah, we have to be accommodating. So
yeah.
anyway, so yeah, I've got a George Mason biography in the upstairs bathroom, and then a George Washington biography on my nightstand at bed. So I'm like, oh, I'm always reading like 3 or 4 books at the same time.
So you don't finish one book and then go to the next, you're kind of just dipping in and out depending upon what
Yeah.
room you're in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and it's kind of funny though, some of them are, you know, they kind of jibe, you know,
Yeah.
like if you're reading period books like George Mason and George Washington, did you know
Mhm.
that
Hmm.
they were involved in a love triangle,
Scandalous. I did
right?
not know.
Yeah,
No.
George Mason and a young George Washington. So George Mason was like 25, 26, and uh, he was, wooing a young lady named, her last name was Ibeck. Um, I think her name was Kathleen, but the important thing, George Washington, they both lived in the same general area, right,
Okay.
in Virginia. They were both wanting to, what's that word when you
Hook up?
no,
Wait,
no, this is the 1700s, they wanted to, court.
court?
Yeah, they wanted a court, they both wanted a court,
Courting.
and George Mason won out, and so George Washington went on to, possibly have a scandalous affair with, Lady Fairfax.
Maybe
um
he didn't have maybe he had his wooden teeth at that point, and she was like, "I'm
He
out."
was no, he was pretty young. He was only like 15 or so. But
Oh,
he was a strapping, handsome kid. He
trapping.
was yeah, by the time he was 15 or 16, he was already 6'1", 6'2",
Which back
and
then, not a lot of people were very tall as
right,
we now a little bit more,
right.
but yeah. Wow.
So, anyway, that's my, my jam. So, okay, I wanna ask you a real quick question. We've been on for a long time, and
Have
I'm
we? I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
just
No, it's I feel like I've like, oh,
blathering.
it's not that bad. It's only 7:59 Central, so
So what does that mean? Is that
well,
an hour?
we an hour?
Okay.
That's not that long. I
I'm
really
looking to see
appreciate
if I have any questions that I'm supposed to, because I will literally get beaten down by Geisinger's gang if I do not like.
yeah. Oh, man, I really wish
These
that I
girls
could
are
have,
obsessed with you. Like, I have people they're like, they wanna marry you, they wanna have your children, they're just like, "Can you ask him this?" And I said, "No, no, I can't ask him that." Okay, I went through all this just uno momento. This is me practicing my
alright,
Spanish. Oh, okay, hold on. No, we I got here's a good one.
okay.
Has narrating romance novels given you any insight into what women want?
Yeah.
Truth telling time. It has?
Oh, hell yeah, yeah, definitely,
You
definitely.
tell.
Well, yeah, so, like, the longest time I was very much like a gentleman, take the lead from the woman in my life, but
Mhm.
I kind of realized that, women like men who are decisive. They like men who make decisions, who know what they want, and that's like, if I could give advice to anybody, to any young man, growing up, I would say, you know, be decisive and be confident in what you want,
Who you are and what you
and yeah, don't be afraid of being who you are.
go. Yeah.
Don't be afraid of letting a woman know what you want, because I think women like men who are able to say what they want, and,
Mhm. We do. Yes.
so yeah, I learned a lot. I mean, I felt like I don't know, like, I've always been like a pleaser. I've always wanted to be like a real pleasing person, but,
Mhm.
I feel like, reading these audiobooks kind of made me realize it's okay to take what you want, and so I do.
Okay, just one moment, please. I'm ovulating. Sorry.
But,
Wow. Wow. Okay, Troy. All right. I
that's what, yeah, that's what you did that for me. Like, it's I mean, that's the kind of a cool thing for, like, when
I
you
love
have,
it.
yeah, somebody who's writing, like, a woman writing men's parts is really, like, that's great espionage material right there. Like, I know, "Oh, okay, this is what women like. Okay, cool." I feel like I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like I have.
It's really hard. I think as you get older, both women and men, as you get older, you figure it out a little bit more because when we're young, like you said, you want to please, you want to make a connection, you want someone to love you and like you, and you just want to be there. And as you get older, it's more about, yeah, I kind of know what I like, and I'm just gonna say that. And if that's
Mhm,
not what you're into, that's cool, and we can do our own things. But it's just good to be you.
mhm,
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the freedom. That's one of the reasons I actually like getting older. I mean,
mhm.
you're kind of just free to be you, and you kind of have all this background information about all the stuff that you've done and the stuff that hasn't worked out, and the
Yeah.
relationships that haven't worked out, and why. And you bring that all to the next thing, and you're like, yeah, here I am, take it or leave it. You know?
It's nice, yeah, it's nice to, it's nice to realize that, there really isn't that much mystery to it.
No, there's
You
there
yeah,
really isn't. Are you looking at this comment from Courtney?
I am. So
I
now the pressure is on. Let me see. So
Game face. Declan.
Courtney
Oh no,
Courtney
brutal vows. Sorry, that's Spider.
Brutal. So, yeah, Brutal Vows at Spider.
Spider. It's
Um,
all, you know.
Cage and Natalie are ruthless creatures, and,
Yes. There's a lot
Declan
of
is
great talk.
carnal urges.
That's right. You're so
But
smart. I like
I
that.
wanna ask you though, all right, so let's see if we can't do justice to Courtney Frederick's name. Courtney Courtney Frederick, I want you to know
Oh God.
I like your profile picture just fine.
It is beautiful.
It looks like you've got a wicked thought, but
Mm.
you're too polite to actually say it out loud. So there, that's Courtney Fredericks in an Irish voice. All right, so JT, I've got a question for you. Of all of your, oh yeah, I wanted to say another. I said I was going to give you another observation.
Oh.
All of your all of your heroines in these books, they are all like nobody. They're all very very strong-willed,
Mhm.
doers, and and they are they stand up for themselves. They're very independent,
Mm.
and so I noticed that, and I noticed that they all have their own. like their own dynamic with with these male leads. So I want to know, who is your favorite? You've got Natalie and Cage,
Oh.
Declan and Sloane. We've got Riley, Alec, Truvy and Liam,
Yeah, there's lots of
Jules and Killian. I will tell you mine, and of
No,
course,
you tell me yours first, and then I'll
Spider and Raina, um, and in Perfect Strangers there was Olivia and James. So
mm.
my favorite, I think, was Killian.
That's everybody's favorite.
Was it really?
Yeah, everybody's favorite is Killian, always. I don't know. It's Killian.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you something. That
Oh,
oh,
shit.
you know what?
Hold on. I think my my computer's hold on.
Okay. Oh, now I was over at the I was looking at a what happened? I okay, so I'm guessing that the reason that we're looking at JT's, what is that artwork that she has? I think those are two legs. That's like some guy's legs, and then but like the upper part of him is like this vortex or something. So we'll talk about that and her ficus. Let's see if we so Sarah Evans, I need to go through some of these oh man, the comments. There's just like so many comments that we did not. Oh, she's gone. You know what? I bet you that JT's computer died. I think that she was probably looking at her she was looking at her battery and said, "Oh shit, my battery is dead." You know what, Shannon? My face is bright red. Number one, because I was talking to JT, and number two, because I'm like drinking whiskey. I'm like who's that guy? WC Fields with his gin blossoms. I think when I drink too much whiskey, my face gets flushed. So I'm not only blushing, but the whiskey helped. So let's go through some. Sarah thinks that's funny. I think it's funny too. Did I get the flu H? I don't know what that means, Jen, but now I'm intrigued. Declan and Spider are your favorites. So now listen, Leslie, I have to tell you that um, I actually was a big fan of Declan um, because of this scene here. I'm gonna try to share this this screen with you so you can see what I'm talking about. Share a screen, and there it is. So this scene right here was like my funnest. So this was Declan. And let's see if I can find the section here. Let's see. Okay, so this is the scene, one of my favorite scenes in the whole book with carnal urges. And this was the scene where Declan is telling her the story of the wee camel. And what I wanted to do was, while I had JT, I was going to ask her if she would act this scene with me. Oh, there she is. Oh, hi. So, did your battery die?
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it. I was like, or maybe this is like her way of just like saying, "All right, peace
I'm
out.
done now.
I'm done.
No.
Bye." Oh
Aw.
yeah, no, my battery died. I'm sorry. I couldn't stay.
This is the story of my life, though. This is how I do things. So I'm very fly by the seat of the pants. You know, people ask me like, "Oh, so did you, do you outline your books? Do you do this and that?" No, honey. This is
Mhm.
just I just do it, and this is how I live. So okay. Anyway, what's happening
Nice.
here? You have
I was talking about, so I said that I liked Killian
the best. Yes,
the best, but I actually like
Declan.
Declan and Sloane the best.
Okay.
And this is the scene
Oh
that
God.
made me fall in love with them so much. Hold on a sec. Oh, I accidentally unshared it. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna share this so that I can read along with it so I can find the beginning of this.
Let me fix my hair because
Oh
I'm
my god,
guilty about
JT, this story, this little scene was like the best. And I can't where is the beginning of it? Let's see.
I don't know. I write these very long scenes, so it's like who knows what's happening
All right. So Declan is visiting Sloane in the
in the
uh
hospital.
in the hospital,
Oh,
and Sloane has
how can I make that bigger? Oh, I can't.
yeah, so Sloane has asked Declan to tell her a story to
Mhm.
help her sleep.
Mhm.
And this story was like the best. So Declan is telling her a story, and he tells her the story about the camel.
Yeah, the wee camel. It's a wee
We
camel, lass.
we should you want to read this with me?
Okay, where do we start?
So let's see.
So
All
all
right.
the so I see words in pink, I see words in blue, whatever. That's
Yeah. So the words in blue, that's just me searching for
oh, gotcha.
the wee camel story.
Yeah.
Although I don't know why it's not. It's still highlighting it, but
Okay.
okay. So there you go. Do you want to read this scene with me?
Sure.
I think I think it'd be fun.
Okay, so who do I read? So like something like Sloane turns slightly listening. No, no, that's you. Okay.
Okay. So that'll be me,
Okay.
and I'll go ahead and start from the part where she says where he heaves a sigh.
Okay.
Heaving a sigh, I begin. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there lived. I glance at the back of her head. A princess. Sloane turns slightly, listening. I continue. A terribly homely princess with buck teeth, facial hair, and a large hump on her back. She looked like a wee camel, in fact. She mutters,
Walt Disney, you're not.
am I telling this, or are you going to keep interrupting me? A grumble of discontent is my answer. As I was saying, the wee camel princess was homely, but she had an interesting personality that drew people to her. They had a hard time getting past her hideous looks, but once they did, they discovered she had a magical talent for. Are you ready? She says flatly,
I can hardly contain my excitement.
talking to animals. After a long pause, curiosity gets the better of her.
What kinds of animals?
All of them, but mainly dogs. The wee camel princess could make any dog, no matter how rabid or feral, fall in love with her and do her bidding.
Ah, I see where this is going. The princess will fall in love with Lassie and create a new race of half camel, half dog babies called campups who turn on humans and kill them all. The end.
No, but if that idea were made into a movie, I'd watch it. Especially if the cam pups were genetically modified, so their left paw arms were laser cannons they could operate by thought. May I proceed? She sighs heavily. I take it as an affirmative. One day, the homely princess was going to visit her good friend, Neddy, when suddenly she was abducted by the biggest, strongest, handsomest dog she had ever seen. He was the king of all the dogs, the top dog, so to speak, and famous for his bravery, also for his intelligence. He was far superior to the wee camel princess's intelligence, which was rather pathetic, despite her delusions otherwise.
You're so lacking in imagination. There's a hole in your head where your brain should be.
Holding back a chuckle, I go on. So, the brave, strong, handsome, warrior king dog, she mutters,
Unbelievable.
locks the wee camel princess up in his castle. His plan was to interrogate her. His,
Or that.
his plan was to interrogate her for information on his sworn enemy. who she had befriended. What he didn't know, however, is how messy camels are and stinky. Within days, the whole place reeked of regurgitated, half digested grass. The castle smelled like a giant trash bin on a hot summer day. Oh, and greasy fur and dung.
Charming. Was this camel princess's name Slang by any chance? Slung? Sloon?
Her tone is so sour, I have a hard time holding back a laugh. No, her name was Drone.
Drone. Because she talked so much. You missed your true calling in comedy, gangster.
I am quite funny, aren't I?
You'd be a lot funnier with a broken nose.
A nurse enters the room. Sloane quips,
Oh, good. Maybe she brought an enema we can use to flush that stick out of your ass.
I have to cover my mouth with a hand to keep from laughing. The nurse introduces herself as Nancy and says she's going to take Sloane's blood pressure. Then she turns to me with a tentative smile.
And you must be the father.
That I think that's where we need to stop it in case
Somebody
nobody,
else.
yeah, in case they haven't heard it. Then
Oh, that's like a big spoiler.
yeah. So yeah, we don't want to go past there. JT, you were awesome.
You're awesome.
Hey,
Mutual
would you
Admiration Society, my friend.
right? Would
Yeah.
you ever consider reading any parts of your own books?
People ask me that, and I don't know. I don't like the sound of my own voice. It's kind of a weird thing, but my voice
Yeah.
sounds different in my head than it does on a recording. So I don't know. I maybe we'll just leave it at that. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe we
Yeah,
can do it together on some future book.
that would be really cool.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Be really cool. I don't
Okay.
want to keep you any longer. I don't know how your battery's working out for you,
I
but
plugged it in, but thank you.
did
Yes. I'm
you?
sorry about that. Yeah. I plugged it in.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that was good.
Thank you.
That was very funny. I I thought
That's still
that's
me.
pretty
That's just
cool.
like my life story.
Hey,
Ha!
you know what? I have to okay, one last thing before I let you go, because I mean the cool thing that I have to give away for this week,
Oh, that's right.
I want to make you the subject of week number 2 of the month of 400.
Okay.
And so I got from JT an autographed copy of Ruthless Creatures.
So
Where's
great.
oh, there, right there, autographed copy of Ruthless Creatures
Yeah.
that that I'm going to give away. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. I need to figure out a great way to do it. I really enjoyed that. I did this for week 1. I did duet me contest. That was pretty
Mhm.
cool.
I
Where I
like that.
like read a scene from a book and had people like duet me with their parts, just like you did.
Yeah.
Um, but I need to figure out how to do it. So I'll figure that out and post it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to give away Ruthless Creatures with your autograph on it. And thank you for sending that to me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for talking to me tonight. This is
Oh
fun
my God, I had so much fun talking to you.
too.
Yeah,
Thank
that was fun. So
Okay.
thank you. And next time we get together, do you go to conferences or
I
the
used to when I was kind of a newbie author, and I haven't lately, but I don't know. Where are you going? Where will you be?
so I've signed up for my very first book convention, and it's called Allure. And it
Allure.
yeah,
Okay.
it's in Chicago, and it's
When?
on September 11th, I think.
Of
11th through the 13th.
this year. Okay. This
Yeah.
year? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. It's coming up.
September, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to that, and I think without giving away too much about the month of 400, I'm gonna find another place. So the month of 300 was last year,
Mhm.
and that's where the winner of week number 3 or number 4 was this trip to Allure. We're
Okay.
taking a fan along with us to Allure.
That's awesome. That's a good
So
win.
I'm thinking that, like, I haven't been to New Orleans in how do you s oh, shit, that's another thing I just said wrong, isn't it?
Knowledge.
New Orleans. Yeah, so I wanna go to so I think there's a book convention in New Orleans called, I'm gonna have to learn how to say New Orleans
Nolans.
correctly before I
N
go.
N apostrophe Allens.
New
Nolans.
Orleans,
Yeah.
yeah. I got a tattoo not this,
Look at
not
that.
yeah, not this on my arm. This one I got here in St. Louis, but, on the back of my neck, I
Uh-huh.
got a tattoo in New Orleans,
Really?
and I was drunk, but I swear to God, that guy was pissed at me. I like
Like
he's
jamming.
like dr he's drilling into my spine, and I'm like, "Any minute, my vertebrae is gonna crack." And I'm like, "Are you pissed at
Live.
me?
So you
What's
live.
going on?" I did, but barely, but
Oh,
I was drunk, so I don't know if he was doing that on purpose. It's just some kind of a goofy thing. It's like a bat wings with a blue orb in the middle or something.
and you
It's kind
paid
of
for this? Hmm.
I paid for it, yeah, and I mean, we waited for hours.
Wow.
I convinced a woman that I was a tattoo artist, and
Oh, dear
she
God.
came. Yeah, there were a lot of people. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and, like, we're all there
I
drunk,
got
and
married in Vegas, so
you got married in Vegas, yeah?
yeah, we did. Did
Oh,
you?
nice. No.
Oh, I thought you said 2. Okay. No,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, no, no. But it's a great story for
Another time, yes, but yes.
for our next thing. All right,
Yes. Okay.
JT, I'm gonna let you go, but, I had so much fun
Me
hanging
too.
out with you.
Me
Thank
too.
you. Yeah, it
You.
was a really good time.
It
So,
was. And hopefully we can hook up one of these days in person and
definitely.
tell each other all the stories that we can't say out loud.
Yeah, over bourbon.
Yeah.
So,
Cheers, my
all
friend.
right. Take care.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Talk to
Okay.
you later.
Good night.
Good night.